Welcome to another episode of Most Men. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell, leave us some comments. We are on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartMedia. The website is themostmen.com. Email is info@themostmen.com. That's MEN, themostmen.com. So today's show is what is a most man? Okay. There's many ways to describe a most man, but through the history of most man, a most man is a guy that he could be married, he could be in a serious relationship, a dating, thinking about getting a serious relationship, whatever. But it's a guy that's just been mentally, physically, not physically, but mentally, emotionally, just he's accepted that the woman runs the show. He's given up. He figures out 100 divided by 2 is 50. You can tell by the way he walks. You can tell by the way he walks in a store, Home Depot, walks to the mailbox. He's just a fucking guy. He's a guy that's just given up. Okay? So, and he's given up just to where he thinks that, this is life, how it is. He gets, okay, an example, okay? And I'm in the show why I started Most Man, but this happened to me, is that, married with kids, just getting settled into the whole marriage thing with kids and blah, blah, blah. And my wife's starting to give me all this. Most men would want to do this. Most men would want to do this for their wife. Most men would want to do this. Most men would want to do that. And I'm like, whoa, hold up. If you want a most man, you need to go find one, because I'm not a most man. I'm a man. I'm a businessman. I'm a man that takes care of everything around here, man. I'm the man that I run, pay all the bills around here, man, so you can stay at home, man. That it's and again, I didn't have a horrible, it wasn't that bad, but I was hearing this most man. I was like, whoa. So that is a most man. It's a guy that's just like, he's throwing his hands up and saying, fuck it. I've lost all control. She runs the show. On and on and on and on. You fill in the blank from there. So that is a most man. But we're here to bring you back. Okay? That's what most man's all about. We're building the man kit. Okay? To where you get your man card back. You get your balls back. You get the 12-step recovery program on how to maintain, retain. Okay? Your t-shirt, your tumbler, your swag. Okay? You get it all back. Okay? And that whole part is meant to be fun. The women like it too. But your woman and women out there, they don't want a most man. They want a man. They want you to act like a man. They don't want it. Sooner or later, a most man gets treated like a most man. So, yeah. I talked to a doctor about this the other day. And she's going to come on the show. She's like, I can't wait to come. She's just got one problem. I got to have brain surgery. And I was like, what? She said, yeah, they're going up through my nasal cavity and, going to swirl something around. So it's not supposed to be major. But I was like, she's like, but, I should recover within a week or two and I'll be ready to go. And I was like, oh, okay, so you just have to have brain surgery. That's it. All right. Good Lord. But we were having the conversation of, how women, that's what she's a clinical psychologist. She's got her PhD in psychology. She runs a counseling firm. Like that's what she does for men and women. She's a life coach and, all this other, she's got a pretty big outfit that she runs, and she's the doctor, right? So, We were having this conversation about how that road gets started for men. Women pull those little test cords, to see if you're going to give an inch, or can they take an inch, and you're going to give an inch, and they're playing games. Women are doing this on purpose. She said, Mark, I talk to my men clients about this all the time. She's like, we're all nuts. She said, I'm a clinical psychologist, and women are nuts, and we do that. We play games. We see how far we can take it. She said, now I don't do it to my husband because I see how it affects other men when you do it to your husband. I've got a great marriage, and, but that's what she said. She said, they all do it. And she tells her men clients all the time, they're playing games with you. Put your fucking foot down. Put your fucking foot down. Or tell her no. Just tell her no. I'm not changing for that. These are my hobbies. These are this. These are that. So fire away. I mean, but that go ahead if you got anything to say on that.
Oh no, I've just been digesting it. I've heard this speech before because I've been around the most man concept, and it's amazing how it permeates down into, there's layers and layers and layers of this. It's not just like a confrontational, like it builds up to a point where I got to do something about this. It's like weeds, it starts slow, works its way in. Before you know it, your yard needs mowing bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And are you willing to mow it? Can you mow it? Do you want to mow it? Hell.
Yeah. But yeah, I was shocked when because she just like lit up like a light bulb. I was like, I can't wait. She said, this is because I told her the long-term plan. She watched the podcast and all that, so I thought it was hilarious. But she sees the long-term, plan. So, yeah, you don't want to be a most man, but we're here to, not me and Tim to save you. We're going to build a group to save you. But
to help you save yourself.
Yeah. Get your man card, get your man kit, get your balls back. Let's get you back. It's not over. Okay? And I'll explain this at the end of the podcast of why I did this, because I've been through, I wasn't a most man, but I've been through, I don't even know what the word is for it, but I went through had everything, lost everything, and I see why guys that go through divorce, or that are in that mode, are framed to where if they've been beaten down those many, I wasn't beaten down, but it was time for it to end. It needed to end. But I just happened to lose my business and all sorts of stuff in between there, and it's everything at once. But I could see how men would fall. Some men that just don't know how to get back on the horse. I could see how because it was so much pressure and just.
Well, with you at the 50 employees or however many at times.
No, we had
but
over 75.
Yeah, but you and it was mostly men, obviously.
Yeah.
In the concrete business, so that those guys brought their problems to work
every day.
A lot of times, and you knew which guys could. The same problem for one guy wasn't as big of a deal as it was for another guy, or if so and so had a certain problem, you're like, oh God, he's going to be dragged through the mud here for a while. Because some people can handle it and get it over with and make a decision, and but a most man, my wife's transmission's going out. What's that got to do with you driving a truck today? Well,
yeah.
What if this, and man. Make a decision, run your house, run your family, tell her to shut up and wait till you get home, something, call a cab, Uber. Why's every problem got to be his problem? That becomes your problem because you're paying the guy to do something and his head's not in the game.
Oh, that was all of them. I mean.
And the varying degrees.
Yeah, shit, on payday, man. We used to have 15 or 20 wives show up to collect their paychecks because they couldn't even take their own paycheck home. Because the money would be gone, or they run the show that hard.
Yeah, maybe that needed to happen, but
It probably needed to happen in some cases, but some cases it didn't.
That's what we're here for, to
Yeah.
get to the bottom of this. When did it need to happen? Why did it need to happen?
Yeah.
And how can you keep it from happening?
Yeah.
Because if you deserve it, you deserve it. But don't be yanked around.
Well, when the concept started, okay, the concept of Most Man, I was just getting in that business. And then we took off like a rocket ship. And I've never had that many. I've had a lot of employees work for me before, so I know what the whole employee thing is. But this was a totally different pool of people. And, but my point is that I got to see why I got to see why there's so many, why we have so many stupid fucking laws, and why we have so many stupid rules, and just, it was the biggest human experiment. I wasn't experimenting with them, but you know what I mean? Like, I was just like, good God, this is why our government does what they do. Now, we're not diving down that rabbit hole of shit, but I'm just saying, I understood it then. I was like, okay, this is why we have so many stupid, and there's just, everything is so stupid in this world. It's because we're just a step above cattle in a real literal sense. We really, most men out there are a step above cattle. I mean, it's insane, the ignorance that went on in that company.
And they're comfortable with it because that's just kind of the way they roll.
Yeah.
They don't see it as being crazy or nuts.
They don't.
Yeah,
they don't.
We had a guy fall off a 4-foot ladder one time, and the boss man said, all right, they had this class about how not to fall off a ladder, and everybody had to sign this thing that said you will not stand on top of a 4-foot ladder. And a couple weeks later, my buddy Dak, he's standing on top of a 6-foot ladder, and the boss man walked by and about crapped his pants. He goes, didn't you hear anything we said in the meeting? And he said, yeah, absolutely.
4 foot.
He said a 4-foot ladder. And he knew his head was going to explode. I mean, he was smart enough to know. And yeah, you just got to, they bitch when you don't get enough work done. And then but it was because one knucklehead fell off of a frickin' ladder that had no coordination. He probably wrecked his car on the way home. So everybody's got to put up with this stupid rule about don't stand on top of a 4-foot ladder. So we all got blanketed, Yeah. So my buddy knew, hey, this is a 6-footer, man. So he was being a smart ass by doing it as opposed to just being clueless and doing it.
My crew was full of that. They did stuff to me on purpose all the time. And that's what I'm saying. Because they all band together out there and say, well, they haven't said no to this yet.
And then they all improve on the other guy's idea how to really torture you properly,
Yeah, okay, okay. Then we're going to move on to number 2. I've already told you about it. I'm selling my house. So I'm getting rid of all my stuff to where I just don't have, I want to start brand new with everything where I'm starting out. I had a freaking table saw out there that's brand new. It was brand new in the box. Still, the plastic was still wrapped around it. And I was like, I had the Facebook crowd out here trying to, just selling a lot of my stuff. And they're, I'll give you, I have a $900 Bosch drill out there that they're trying to give me $100 for. And I'm like, hell no, I'll keep it before I give it to you for $100. But a guy was trying to buy that for $100. And I was like, no, dude, I'll just take, and I was like, I can take it back to Lowe's. Okay. Now, because this happened at my employees did this stuff to me. We would have stuff come up missing, and they'd go take it back to Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever we bought it from and get the cash. They'd steal it and go get the cash. Okay. So I'm at Lowe's trying to take this table saw back. And they're like, we're not taking it back. And I was like, yes, you are. Like, this is a brand new, and yes, you are. And they said, nope, Lowe's changed their, so that everybody out there, do not wait more than 90 days to take your stuff back, because now they've got a 90-day. They just changed it like in December. If it's 90 days old, they don't take it back anything. And you better have your receipt. So I raised enough hell and called enough managers to where she was like, look, she came up and did the work. But this is what most men do. Why we have to put up with so much bullshit is all the fucking assholes out there that ruin it for us.
Yeah, yours is still in the wrapper, and those guys were taking shit back with
and I don't care how
on it.
I don't care how I get my money back, a gift card, court store credit, cash. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not giving it to some dude for $100. I just want my money back. That's it. You know, I'll go buy $300 or $400 worth of shit right now if you just want to swap.
A pawn shop would have given you $250, and this guy's trying to give you $100.
Yeah. So the manager finally gets all the stuff taken care of. And she's like, look, because I had a whole bunch of plumbing parts too. And it was like $300 worth of, you know, all that gator clip shit and all that, you know, all those, what is it?
Shark bite?
Not shark bite, but the all the PEX fittings and all that. Those a fitting's $9. You know what I mean? All those little fittings that you got to buy. The PEX is cheap. It's all the fittings that you got to get to put it together. So, they're like, well, if you just want to give us this stuff, that's fine, but we're not giving you your money back on it without a receipt. And I was like, well, I bought this 50 different times. Okay, so they're like, so the manager's like, look, okay, I'll do the saw, not the plumbing. She said, but here's what I'm going to do for you. She said, I've done the research. You bought this at our White Settlement location. If you go there, I've got your receipt right here. All she has to do is pull it up. She can give you cash, and you'll be on your way. I go to there. I go, thank you so much. And I was polite the whole time, but I was just like, no, there's no way y'all can't take this back. Well, yeah, we can if the computer will let us, but, you know, if it doesn't let us, you know, I'm wanting to do it for you, but if the computer don't do it, you know, it's the computer, not me. So I drive to White Settlement, go in, walk up, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to save you an hour and a half to 2 hours worth of work. I've already been through it at Weatherford. I'm going to save you all the work. This is what we got to do. She goes, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And I was like, Wusa, Komite. I said, just call your manager. There's no manager here. I'm like, she goes, I'll take your plumbing parts and give you cash. And I was like, what the She said, but I'm not doing that saw. And I was like, hold on a second here. Weatherford wouldn't take my plumbing parts, but you'll take my, oh yeah. She said, I'll give you cash, store credit, gift card, whatever you want for the plumbing parts. But the saw, no dice. I was like, well, all you gotta do is pull up my receipt. She goes, no, I'm not gonna do it. And I was like, okay. So I'm just like, okay, so I'll go back to Weatherford and take the gift card. Okay? And then I'm going to go back and give the plumbing parts to the White Settlement. Get back there. And she's like, I'm not doing it without a receipt. And I'm like, good God, yesterday it was, but you wanted me to, you were going to do me a favor to go get me my cash. So that's what I went and did. And they'll take I said, what is the deal? They can make their own rules on the spot is what they can do.
They can call the cops on you too when you don't like it.
Yeah, but the whole thing is it's 90 days. You better take your shit back in 90 days. And on a big piece, a big item, keep your damn receipt because they are not.
Because people abuse the system.
That's exactly, it's the whole point. And they were nice about it. And we talked about it yesterday when I went and took it back to him. I said, I understand why you're doing this. And I'm not trying to be rude. I get it. Like, she said, you just don't. I said, but it's okay for him to walk out of here with $799 worth of shit and nothing happened to him. But the good people out here that follow the rules, it's okay for them to steal $800 worth of shit, but we can't bring our legitimate shit back. And it's because people steal and bring it back. That's what they would do. I remember a guy out in a Home Depot parking lot that took off running with a couple of drills. And this young college kid or teenager or whatever, he was a football player or something, because he decked his ass across the parking lot. And I was like, damn, dude. And he's like, man, I'm tired of these people doing this. They do it all the time. He said, if you knew how many things that they just run through the door with every day, happens every day. And then they'll come back and try to return it. Because it's new and in the box or new. And they had that back then, they had to take it back. So they had the Walmart policy. Everything goes.
Public service announcement. Don't wait too long.
Well, no, it's the point is the rules. It's the dumbasses out there that screw it for us. You know what I mean? Just trying to be legit. It's crazy. So, let's move on to number two. If you're a most man, how to get out or fix it. You got to take a deep. That's kind of a question that I have for you. We're just open topic, that one. I mean, but if you are, I mean, you got to do a self-inventory at first. What's the in my mind, that would be the first thing I'd do for me, is take a self-inventory. What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? You know, what do I need to be spanked for? What do I don't need to be spanked for?
I guess being married or not being married, or having kids and not having kids
doesn't matter.
But the decision has more gravity about getting out or fixing it, or so.
Well, but how if you are a most man, what's your way out? Is do you have a talk with the wife? Okay, and just say, hey, what's the problem? I mean, what's the problem around here? Because that's all the women that I talked to when I did the pilot program. All the women were just like, look, if he would just change a few things, I'd be off his ass. You know what I mean? Like, and they're easy things. These are things that they're so simple but he's just not getting it. You know, so do I would first self-inventory.
Maybe ask your partner there, you know, what they expect out of you.
Well, and be man enough to take it. I watched this Russian mafia dude on YouTube. It's called Grim Hustle. I'll send you the link to it. He gives life advice and all this stuff, but he's a mob dude. He's all mobbed up but the thing is that that's one of his life lessons of it wasn't about taking self-inventory. It was about getting good friends and smart friends and good people, but don't be afraid to take their criticism. Like, you need to be able to take, if somebody's telling you something that you respect, if you respect them, you know what I mean? If they're telling you something, maybe you ought to listen. You know what I mean? Because listen and act, because.
Well, it doesn't necessarily mean they're right, but you need to digest it and apply it to what you got going on, and then go, yeah, you know, I need to adjust, or, well, he doesn't know what he's talking about because of this, this, and this, but at least run it through the program in your head that it makes sense. You know, if the guy's like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you an example of in my marriage. It didn't bother, because I'm always joking around, I'm always having fun, you know, and it not that it didn't bother her, but she was just like, but if you would just do one thing before you did this, which is I'd walk in and instead of kissing her on the cheek or patting her on the back, or, you know, I'd come in and smack her in the ass, you know. You know, just because that's how I am. I mean, but it's not that bothered her. But she's like, could you just say hi? Or, you know, do you have to just smack me on the ass? Could you say something first? Or, you know, or other, I've heard, you know, in the pilot or other women is just like, if he would just walk, and it's not, hey, how's your day every day? It's just, hey, how you doing?
Yeah, you don't want to have just the same old, same old. How was your day? Fine.
And then walk straight to the couch or the recliner. Just because you normally think you're supposed to just say, hey, how's your day? And go straight to the refrigerator, grab a beer, and head to the recliner. It was not, in 9 times out of 10, 9 times out, even if you just said, hey, do you need any help with anything before I go to the...
Before I take a shower and get lazy over here.
Yeah, is there anything that you need my help with? And 9 times out of 10, the answer's going to be no. Because they've got their program in. You know, that women run the... I mean, that's fine, they run the house. That's fine, or their version of running the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was just the thought is what all the women... It's just the thought. It wasn't that I'm going to give you a task. It wasn't that I'm going to dream up a task for you. It's just the thought.
Paint the garage.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I was just kidding. Well, then you can buy time. Well, I got to go to Home Depot and get some paint brushes. I'll do that tomorrow. But even if the garage needs to be painted, you know, hey, get the plan together and I'll get the garage painted. You know, maybe not right now, but if the garage needs to be painted and it's pissing you off, well, then let's get the plan together to paint the garage.
Yeah, but a self-inventory and but yeah. Don't be afraid to take criticism. Or not criticism, but constructive criticism. If somebody just telling you, hey, yeah, this gets under my skin with you. You know, because we both each other get underneath each other. I mean, there's got to be shit that you and your wife get each other's skin with. I mean, nothing's gonna ever be perfect. I mean, I'm not striving for perfection here, but I'm just saying that's what my wife. That's the example of. She was like, just before you smack me on the ass, could you just say something? You know, because she may not know that I'm walking by, or you know what I mean. She's just sitting there doing what she's doing, and all of a sudden, pow!
I hate the way you chew or something. No, that's kind of, that's a heavy one right off the top, you know. Is there anything honey, is there anything that bothers you that I could change? Yeah, I hate the way you chew.
I'm not going to go there because...
that's a little much.
I'm not going to go there with you, but yeah. Okay, so if you are, how to get out, that's just a self-inventory, or just go to your partner, your wife or whoever, your girlfriend, date, whatever. Say, hey, what's up? Why you being such a bitch lately? Or why are you giving me the cold shoulder lately? You know, what's the deal? You know, because that's how that distance happens, and that happened in my marriage, man. It was just like you just get to the point where it's like ain't even worth talking about because nothing's changing. You know, so the wedge just keeps going and going and going and going, and then you're walking around your house ready to blow your head off. You know. So, self-inventory, man. All right, so, yeah. The other one is can it be fixed within a relationship?
And it's probably easier to nip it in the bud than it is to let it fester and then try to fix it.
Can it be fixed? Are you willing to live with that? Because we all have our personal flaws, right? But like every relationship goes through that phase where you're like, or before you get married, or while you're dating somebody. I mean, you get to that point where you're like, man, am I willing to put up with this bullshit anymore?
Well, they don't call it the honeymoon phase for nothing, you know, or
exactly.
Everybody's enamored with you know, oh, it's all great, everything's great.
Well, but here's the most men out there or future most men, again, women know how to get married. They know how to do it. I was talking to the doc about this, and I can't wait to get her on and just dive into her brain on this. Okay? And I've got some other counselors, psychologists, people that delve in all this. But they know how to get that none of that and then all of a sudden, well, we're married now. Well, that's why I married you, is because all that was cool. You know what I mean? That's why I married you. And now that we're married, well, 100 divided by 2 is 50 then. So have the conversation. And again, there was a few red flags that I had that I was like, but all the other good outweighed the bad. And then compared to what was on the market, So I lived with it.
And what's going on in your own personal life, your age and stuff could have something to do with it. Because I didn't get married till I was 30. And, it was like, oh, okay, well, I'm going crazy and doing what I want all the time. And that's a dangerous thing, to just do what you want all the time whenever you want to do it. I almost needed a little structure,
Well, but honestly, I think that's probably the best thing that you could have said, is that it's because nobody really has their life plan in order at 22 years old. You know what I mean? I don't know. I was doing good at 22, but I was doing good at 12 and 13 too.
But when you were younger, you were more fun.
Exactly.
It's easier to make decisions when you got money than if you don't have money. Your decisions get a lot more limited.
Well, and
so
mine
were determined.
Yeah, when I was almost a live or die type situation, man. My mom was going off to Saudi Arabia and left me here. I mean, but I was, as a young man growing up in a broken home, I learned how to make money early, and I liked it. And I knew if I worked hard, I just remember that feeling. If I work hard, this is the result, and I like this.
Well, and not just make money like punching a clock, make money. You were an entrepreneur making money.
Yeah.
You wanted the gravy on top of the carrot, not just, 40-hour week and get your check after Uncle Sam takes his off the top and see what you got left.
Yeah. Well, did I ever tell you the story about Futon Don? Me and Futon's son. I mean, I know you know that me and Jake worked for his dad doing sod and all that kind of stuff. But when this was before the sod days. We were in like third or fourth grade. His mom, she was a baker. Okay, she did wedding cakes and all this kind of stuff. So she had a setup that was. So we started making cookies. Because we were like, how can we make some money? She's like, everybody eats chocolate chip cookies. Why don't y'all make some chocolate chip cookies and go sell them door to door? And we did. And we sold out. We did it again, sold out. Then we started doing snickerdoodles. And then she was like, well, I'll take y'all to Sam's with your money, and y'all can buy in bulk now. And y'all can use my kitchen equipment as long as you keep it clean and... You know what I mean? Like, I'll teach you how to do it, but y'all got to do all the work. Like, I'm not getting in here and making them with y'all. Y'all got to do it yourself.
Yeah, I'm not here to whip my own ass to help you.
Yeah, and my shit better be clean by the time you're done too, or you're not using it anymore. So we were totally down with that. So, but his grandmother was the president of Arlington National Bank or Arlington Bank, whatever it was back then. There was a big bank in Arlington. And man, we walked in with she let us used to walk in there with our little red, she was like, bring him in a little red wagon, And dude, we mopped it up. Did it for years, man. Yeah. Yeah, I learned to make money young, and I liked it.
Figure out when the Girl Scout cookies are coming out and beat them to the neighborhood by
But what are you going to do when two little boys come in with two little red wagons loaded with chocolate chip cookies and snickerdoodles? Would you like them with nuts or without nuts?
Nice.
Oh, yeah. But
that's the real way to make money is you got to hustle and you got to make it yourself. If you're punching a clock, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you're up, if that's how you're wired.
It's the slave mentality, and a lot of people they don't want it, and that's fine.
Well, in this day and age, benefits is a big deal and all of that. So being self-employed, you got to pay for your own health insurance and whatnot. But you can get a good job, with benefits and vacation time and all of that, but you're just trading time
For money. Yeah.
and eventually you run out of time.
Yeah. Yep. So the answer, but the going back to that is, can it be fixed? And you just got to have. What are you willing to put up? Exactly. How much shit do you want in your Wheaties?
And if you're out hustling and your wife has a 40-hour week job, it's real easy to go play golf during the week, or because you don't have a set schedule, but she does. You got to be careful that you don't fall into the trap of, well, she don't know what I'm doing, so I can get away with this, that, and the other. It's fun until you abuse it, and then you can create your own problems, I guess is what I'm saying.
Oh, and most men do create their own problems. That's what I'm saying. Those guys at my office, they created 9 out of 10 of their problems. And we're just fine with it. There's a lot of men out there that I'm not going to mention who it is. He's a family member of mine, but he wanted his wife to run the show. He was more comfortable. He just wanted to go make the money, come home. He was fine with that.
And there's nothing wrong with that if both parties are on board with the program.
But that's why they ended up splitting up.
Well,
she got tired. She got tired of it. She wanted to. But that goes back to the whole thing at the first of your, when you're in a relationship. What does the 10-year forecast look like? Because when you're 20, when you're 19, 20, 22, 23, most people don't have their shit together, or they may be doing really good and their career looks really promising. But when you get 10 years down the road and you start dumping babies into the situation and kids, that salary all of a sudden doesn't look so hot. And life isn't that good.
Yeah,
it was good then because you could do anything you wanted till you start spitting kids out. Kids are expensive.
Then mama needs a minivan because she can't stuff the kids in the car anymore, and it's just exponentially
everything. What do they say it costs to raise a kid a year? I can't remember what the number is, but it's probably over $100,000.
No, it's way more than that. It was like 180 the last I heard, and that was years and years and years.
But was that throughout their whole life?
Yeah, well, till like they're 18 or something. So it's like $250,000 or something.
Yeah. Well, it's got to be $500,000 now, if not more. I know how much my kids have cost me.
Well, here's what it would be. Or check this concept out. If you took the money, instead every time you bought a baby bottle or a diaper and you put it in a 401k or, some retirement vehicle, then see how much money you got at the end of 18 years. Because, you're losing out on the interest when you buy the kiddie toy or the whatever.
Yeah, and how much of it gets broke? I mean, everything that you buy gets broke. You got to buy it again and again and again and again. And we're out of that phase. We're in the new phase. I mean, it's insane. But that was the biggest beauty of our relationship, is that we had that talk. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to know. I was like, what? She told me, she's like, look, I want to work until I start having kids. She had money, and I'm not going to go through all of it, but I'm just saying, I want to work till I start having kids. I want to be a stay-at-home mom till they're at least 13 each, or the last one's 13, and then I'll go back to work. So, and these are the schools that I wanted. She already knew she wanted to be in these schools, so I knew what my income stream needed to be to buy the house that we needed to have, and me to live my lifestyle the way I was going to live it and all that. We had that talk, so, and that, otherwise I wouldn't have got married. I knew what I was getting myself into. That's what I wanted to know. It's just like what you said. I don't care what the rules are. I just want to know what the rules are. I knew what my forecast looked like, but a lot of people don't have that talk.
Yeah, they're going to wing it. Good luck.
We'll figure it out. Well,
Sometimes it works.
Sometimes it does.
But don't bet the house on it.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of them that it does work. But man, God, a plan just is so much better, especially when it works. It takes a lot of risk off the table, that's for sure. But at least you know that you're not gonna get 5 years down the road, and she spits out a kid, and she's like, "Well, I want to stay at home," and he's like, "What?" That wasn't talked about, or I want to go back to school. I'm going to quit my job and go back to school.
Barber college.
Yeah. I don't want to paint nails anymore. I want to cut hair. I'll make less money doing it, but I want another degree.
And I'll be happy.
Yeah. I want 2 degrees. I don't want 1. I want 2.
Jeez, oh man.
The girl that never gets out of school. I'm going for my master's.
Underwater basket weaving.
I'm going to get my master's in stay-at-home mother school. While you go work your ass off, and I sit on my ass.
And I'll call you every day to say, well, when you coming home?
What are you doing? Fucking working. Doing the same thing I'm doing the last time you fucking called. It's called work. Working to fucking pay the bills. What are you doing? Hey, that sounds... I used to chat my ass when cell phones first got out. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's a novelty. It's like a toy. I'm going to play with the toy. Yeah. I'll call Mark.
What are you doing? I'm fucking working. That's what I do. What do I do every Monday through Saturday? And Sundays, a lot of days. What do I do from sun up to sundown? Work.
See, that's a problem too when the stay-at-home moms, some of them, they get bored with staying at home. Sounds like a good idea until after you're about your 4th year in the middle of it.
That's show number 2. I've got it in there.
Oh,
yeah.
I jumped the gun.
No. But that's that's topic in show number 2. Okay. 30. So can it be fixed? If it can't be fixed, you got to make your plan to get out. And this the reason I bring this up is because I left my wife. I'm not going to get into all my shit, but I'm just saying I left my wife one time. Thank God she begged me back, so I didn't go through what I went through without thinking it through. If you can't make it, if it can't be fixed, you got to make a plan to get out. Okay, and if you do plan to get out, there's ways of getting out. Because I brought this up with my attorney the other day, and I was like, there's guys out there that they understand 100 divided by 2 is 50, and he said on a good day, it can be 75-25, it can be 60-40. On a good day, it's 50-50. Okay?
It never gets better than that.
No. That's as good as it gets. So that's when I left my wife the first time. He was like, okay, if we got problems at home, and I'm not going to tell what we did, but I'm just saying, and I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't break the law or anything like that. I mean, that's why you have an attorney. But I'm just saying, I had to plan it out. You don't just go hire, because these shitty, snaky attorneys, all the older people out there, we all already know this, that there's a lot of shitty attorneys out there, but there's a lot of good ones too that are honest, that won't take you to the bank, because that's the whole thing. Is that he's like, you're making an emotional decision right now, Mark. He said, I'm telling you as a friend, as your attorney and as your friend, you're making an emotional decision right now because you're pissed off and you're unhappy and you're all this. He said, you're about to double the cost of your divorce unless you think this thing through and plan it out. Because you're making a decision based off emotion. And you wait till she finds out that you're divorcing her when she has no clue that you're divorcing her or leaving her or whatever. He said, you want to see the shit hit the fan then? That's when the shit hits the fan, is when she finds out that you're leaving her. Now, it goes both ways, but I'm just saying, then you just started fucking World War III, baby. And that's when the gloves come off. And that's
because it's a sucker punch.
That's right.
They felt like they got sucker punched out of the blue.
Right. And then they go to their attorney, and their attorney's just sitting there licking his chops. Just, ooh.
The madder she is, the happier he is.
Oh, but just he wants to stoke the fire even more. We can get more than half. We can get more. Yeah. Play it. They play the emotions game. So that's what I'm saying. If you plan it,
a controlled crash is way better than just hitting a pole.
Yes.
You got your seatbelt on.
So if it cannot be fixed, just don't. Most men out there, pump the brakes and make a plan, because it's even though mine ended abruptly this last time, our plan worked, is what I'm getting at. The plan was done from then on.
And everybody got what they wanted.
Everybody got what they wanted and more. And we didn't even go to court. There was no back and forth. There was no nothing. We went to my attorney's office, sat across the table from each other, and it was, this is what you want. This is what you want. Yep. Okay. So this is how I'm going to write this up. You get the bip, 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 bip. Yep. And y'all are happy with that? Yep. Okay. Wait 45 minutes. Let me make the changes to the paperwork, and y'all are done. Here's what's funny about that, though.
What's that?
Do you know that I got married. There's one of them. I got married. Oh. I got married, and my anniversary and my divorce date are all the same date. February. What day's Valentine's Day?
14.
Yeah, the 15th. We got married the day after Valentine's Day. So we got married, our anniversary, and my divorce date was final, February 15th. I got married and divorced all on the same day. What's the odds of that?
How many years apart?
20.
Right on the money? 20?
Pretty close.
Didn't know, like some magic other number in there.
Well, no, pretty. Well, it's exactly close because we were married for 20 years. So yes, 20 years, married, anniversary, divorce, all on the same day. Crazy. So, but what yes, if it can't be fixed, make a plan. It's because.
And make a plan when you're not all emotional about it. Like if your air conditioner breaks, you don't just, I'm buying a new one.
Well, because when women are they're the emotional ones. See, that's what I'm saying. Even though that ours was done really, really well, to this day, I mean, even though it went well, it's because she's finding out that she made a horrible fucking decision. You know what I mean? Like, I'm coming out way ahead of the deal here because I planned. So, but when they are emotional, they make some of the. She got mad at me one day, okay? Just because my son called me during the summer. He's here every day, every single day. It's like nothing every single day. So, but he called me and he's like, "Hey, can you come pick me up? I don't have a ride to get over there. Can you come pick me up?" And I didn't know that evidently him and his sister did something and they got in trouble or whatever. And he was mad. He got into a fight with his sister is what happened. But anyway, his mom was like, you're not going to your dad's today. That's what she does, is she'll punish him by, you're not going to your dad's today. So he calls me. I had no clue that any of this shit is going on. None. I'm just used to the norm that he's there every day.
Yeah, people have been watching his podcast. How many times has he popped in during these podcasts?
No, during the summer, he's here every day. And after school, he's here every day. So he calls me to come pick him up. I just didn't know that he was not allowed to come over that day. Well, we're almost to my house. And I got a phone call from her. She's like, she said, you better take him back. She's like, do I have to call the police for kidnapping? And I was like, what? You can't just come pick him up when you want to. And I was like, he called and asked me to come pick him up. But I didn't even know that he wasn't allowed to go until the next day. But I was just like, it happened last night. He was like, can you take me home? And I'm like, because I already had a couple of beers, you know. And it's like, am I taking you home because it's time for me to get a DWI? Or you see what I'm saying? The women do that shit. So I'm very
Tried to draw you off sides.
yeah, but oh good God, I'm sure there's everybody out there's got a fucking epic divorce story, but it's just one. If you just cut the cord, man, shit, you're asking for World War III, and you're gonna get
vengeance
it, and you're gonna get it,
turn.
and you're gonna get it, and the rest. And there's a lot of men out there that I say this to. I guarantee you know exactly what I'm talking about after a divorce. The things they do to you just to, I'm in control. I have custody. I'm in control. I have custody. I'm the boss now. You see what I'm saying? When normally, is that really, like when you're married, it's like, whatever. Now it's like, attention.
I know a guy that takes care of his kids morning, noon, and night, has a job, the whole bit. And he made the comment one time, it was hilarious. He said, I'm thinking about getting a divorce attorney. That way, like, my kids can see their mother like every other week because he just takes care of them constantly, and she doesn't even take care of them. He's like, I'm gonna divorce my wife just so she's forced to see the kids. And they live in the same house and they're not divorced. I laughed my ass off on that. The concept, you know, that she's always too busy with everything to even see the kids, deal with the kids.
Well, I think that's why she allows him to come over every day, because she doesn't want to deal with him. He's a handful, man. He's a handful. He's 13. He's at that age to where he ain't scared. He's never been scared of shit. But I mean, it's just like every day that he leaves here, I'm just like, I hope he makes it back in one piece, you know.
Yeah, one day we were over here. He says, hey, can I sleep outside tonight? You're like, it's 20 freaking degrees out.
Yeah.
He didn't care.
No.
I'm like, hell, man, I'm going to crawl to my truck, pre-warm it up. And he's going to go sleep in a field?
Yeah.
Good God.
And he would have done it.
I know.
You should have, when I had that fire going, man, I was like, you know, that's when I figured I was like, why is he not spraying that fucking water hose? Didn't have any pressure. I went to turn, but yeah. So I took it. He was like, "You want to try it for a little while?" And he'd been standing right, and I'm standing there for 2 minutes, going, "Fuck!" I got burned all the hair off my arms. He's like, do you want to do it for a couple minutes?" You know, like, God, man, you freaking tank! You took all this for all this time. God,
he probably doesn't have any eyebrows.
No. Okay. All right. So the next one is, I'm going to explain what inspired me to start Most Man. So again, my wife was doing all that, you know, most men would do this for their wife. Most men would want to, you know, quit everything that you want to do. When, you know, most men would want to, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So, the whole thing about it was everybody, I mean, I'm not going to go through the whole me and my cousin and all that jazz. That doesn't need to be brought up. But after I went through all this, and again, I don't want to get on here because I'm not complaining, and I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm not looking for any of that. But I went through a huge. I mean, I lost over $10 million. Lost a very, very successful company. Lost my family over something that was so stupid. And it all happened at once. I mean, it all bared down on me to where I probably was a little depressed. Yeah, I broke my foot. I broke my foot all in the middle of this. You know, and that's the thing is if she called me today and said, "Mark, I need your help. with anything. I don't have anybody else I can call. Would you come help me, please? And she doesn't do it, but I'm just saying, if she did, the answer would be yes. Yeah. Married to her for 20 years. Why wouldn't I help her out? And she's just asking for yes. The answer would be yes. The night I broke my foot, I called her 20 times. I'm laying in my fucking driveway with a snapped lower leg. You know, I had to walk on it to get into my house. Finally, I called my mom, but what I'm saying is that's the only person I knew I could call. 911's not going to get through my gate. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have anybody else to call. No. So I called my man. So I'm laying in bed, and I'm in a really bad place. I'm in a bad place. And I'm looking up at the sky. I've got a big dark cloud over me. I've got all these lawsuits. I've pending bankruptcy. I've got all this just shit. Lost everything.
Just on the business side. That's before the personal side.
Right.
You know, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. And the amount of weight that was on my shoulders, that it was just like, fuck. I was like, and I never contemplated suicide. But what I'm saying is I was there. I was like, this is why people do it. If people feel, get to this feeling right here, because it did. I could not see the end of the light. I couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. There was none available. And it just, I was like, you've never quit anything in your life. You can work your way through this, and I did. But what I'm getting at is that I felt that pain, that when some major event, so the PTSD and all the stuff that people talk about, but that mental state of nobody understands what's going on with me, nobody cares, and they don't. Nobody cares about you. Not even your own. I mean, not even your own family. In some instances, because they don't understand they've never built a company like I built. They have no clue what I'm going through. You know what I mean? So it's not that they're not there for you, but they just don't. They don't know. They don't know. I mean, you know who I am, but you still don't know what I was going through. You know, it was me, but I wasn't out there complaining to people wanting self-pity. I'm just trying to figure out how to get out of it. So I'm sitting there going, okay, this is what people feel like when they're depressed, or they're mentally just broke, and emotionally broke, mentally, not physically, but you don't even want to get out of bed. I couldn't get out of bed because I had a broken foot, but I'm just saying that I was just like, God, I'd rather just lay in bed and not see the world today at all, because there is nothing positive out there for me right now. So I've had this most man idea shelved for 15 years. And that's when it hit me, because I figured out social media, YouTube, and all that. And I've always been that person in my company or within building teams or doing all of that. I've just always naturally
been able to put pieces together to make something happen.
Yeah, but that and I've got some stories about some of my wingmen that, people that have worked for me that came in with nothing, and man, that the success story that happens, but I'm always that guy that people come to. I'm not saying that I can fix everybody's problems. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm just saying I always enjoyed helping if it was worth it. So that's when this idea, the whole most man idea back then versus what it is today. I was younger when I first started it or thought about it. Now I'm a little older, a little wiser. So that's why I started it. It's about building better men and being there for men that need it. There's a lot of men out there that just need somebody to talk to, that just need. And here, They just need I just needed somebody the only person that could understand, and not only he couldn't understand the enormity of it, but my attorney, because he sees this every day. That's his profession. Okay. And he just kept telling me all the time. He's like, dude, you just can't, you got to figure out how to get out of the trap, Mark. He said, you always do. Just don't lose that mentality. You got to figure out how to get out of the trap. And he said, you will land on your feet again. I know you will. It's going to be fucking hell, but you will land on your feet again. I know you will. I've known you for 20-something years, and so that's why I started, because all the YouTube, the social media, and all that. We can pump this now, okay? But this program is, aside from, the man card and the man kit and all that kind of stuff, the fun stuff, the men's club, joining the men's club. On the back end of this company, we're going to have a hell of a lot of fun doing it. But the back end of this company is really about helping men, building better men, men that are in shitty situations that need, or just men that are wanting to better themselves. We're going to have attorneys, CPAs, doctors, lawyers, psychologists, coaches, people that help. I'm not a professional, but I'm going to bring in a lot of professionals to do these think tanks and to help the, it's not going to be for everybody. That part's not for everybody. The men's club's for everybody. The men's club is for everybody. We're here to have a hell of a lot of fun, and we're going to have a hell of a lot of fun. Okay. But the whole back end of this is building better men. And that is what this company is all about. Because there's a lot of people that y'all don't need your man card. You can get your man card just to have fun. I've never needed a man card, but I got one just because I can say I got it. Whoop, hold up. It's right here. Don't. Right here. So that's what inspired me to do it, is that for the people out there that are feeling down and out and like there's no way out, and there's always a way out. And I finally made it out. I'm happy. I'm happier than I've ever been. The sun's never looked so bright. But it was a motherfucker getting here. It really was. So I'm not gonna save the world from itself. I mean, it's not gonna happen. But if you are that guy out there that just needs,
and like AA, people go to be around other people that got similar problems, and it's a place maybe to get some positive reinforcement and talk to other people that have been through the same thing.
Well, that's why we got the 12-step recovery program, but ours is meant to be fun. But it's
meant to be useful too.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing though, is that and that's why I did it, because I've been shoved in rehabs before when I was younger. That's all my mom knew what to do with me was he's drinking or he's smoking pot or something. Shove him into rehab. It's like, well, no, I'm just a normal teenager. You know what I mean? We're all doing it. I'm just normal.
Just got caught.
Yeah. I mean, so
all your buddies do it worse, but they didn't get caught.
Well, but here's so I got shoved into a couple of those programs, and there are people that need that, man.
Oh, sure.
They don't know how to live. That's what that whole 12-step program is to teach people how to live that don't know how to live. That's all it is. Alcohol and drugs just happen to be what they get caught up in because they don't know how to live, and they turn to alcohol and drugs. But that's what the 12-step program is to teach people how to live. And it works if you work it. Have you ever heard any of that shit? You ever been to an AA meeting?
No.
Hi, my name is Mark, and I'm an alcoholic. Yay, Mark!
I've seen it on TV.
Keep coming back. It works if you work it. That's their slogan. Keep coming back. It works if you work it. The program, the 12-step program. Keep coming back. It works if you work it. Keep coming back. It works if you work it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I've been through all that shit, but there are people out there that need it, and they've got mental issues, and it's people that grew up without dads and moms, and they've been molested, and they got some serious problems. They need people around them like them. I couldn't wait to get out. I was like, I do not belong here. Yeah, I may drink and smoke a little rope here and there, but I don't know. I'm not like these people. We've all had some hard times in life, but I don't need this shit. I know the difference between right and wrong. I'm gonna stick on the right side more than on the wrong side. A lot warmer over here. So, yeah, but the whole thing is it's to build better men, and to help men through it, because I guarantee you there's no shortage of them out there that are in shitty marriages and they don't know how to get out, or they don't know how to fix the problem that they're in. But we're gonna bring in experts, on the back end. The podcast and the men's club, this is just like an afternoon party every day. Okay, once a week. Yeah, but it's we're all here to have a good time. If we can help each other, we can help each other. So that's it. So let's end it on that. So, where can you find us? We are on YouTube. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell, comments. We need some comments, please. That gives us topics, gives us stuff to talk about. Please subscribe. We need. Even if you can't listen to the long form, we're going to start shortening this stuff up. But just please subscribe, even if you can't listen to all of them. We're trying to get to 50, and I'm coming up with some. I'm gonna come up with the giveaway. I think I'm just gonna send out man cards to everybody. When we hit 50, I'm gonna send out free man kits to everybody. That's gonna be the prize. So I'll set that up on an email. We'll email all that out, or we'll figure out a way to get it to you. So please subscribe. iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartMedia. TheMostMen.com is the website. info@themostmen.com is the email if you want to reach out to us. info@themostmen.com. And yeah, let's have some fun, boys. Join the men's club. Like, subscribe, share, ring the bell, and please comment. Y'all have a good day.